Today we would be talking about ode. Ode is a lyrical poem, and it is serious in its subject matter. Its theme is serious, and since its theme is serious, it is elevated in style. It has to adopt a style which is elevated, which is grand, which is somber, and then it is in the form of an address. There is someone or something which has been addressed in an ode, like when we did Ode to Autumn. The season of autumn was addressed by John Keats. Then there could be an idea which could be addressed, like melancholy or indolence or imitations of immortality. So in imitations of immortality, the feeling of immortality was addressed. So we can say that ode is always in the form of address, and since it is in the form of address, it has a massive public proclamation. There is a note, or there is an idea that whatever is being spoken in the poem would be addressed to an entire public, or would be there for the readership of a large number of public or gathering. So odes are in form of address, and they are elevated in their style. They have a serious subject matter or a theme, and they are lyrical in the sense they are talking about the subjective feeling or the individuality of the author on a particular topic or on a particular person. So that is why they are lyrical in nature. Now, if you ask me, there are two types of odes: Pindaric odes and Horatian odes. Now, Pindar was a great writer of odes, and he was from Greece, and his odes have been adopted by English writers, and a slight variation has been made by these writers at different points of time, but they have been adopted in more or less in the same manner in which they were written by Pindar. Now, in Greek dramas, there were chorus. There was a chorus, and chorus had a group of people who were reciting something or who were singing something, and these people were either on the left side of the stage or on the right side of the stage, or were in the center of the stage. So they were known accordingly: strophes, antistrophes, and epid. So the writers of odes in English also, they adopted the same pattern, and they wrote their odes in the same manner. The irregular odes were further introduced, or they were written by Abraham Cowley, who imitated the Pindaric style and matter, but disregarded the recurrent strophic triad, and allowing each stanza to find its own pattern or own varying line lengths, number of lines, and rhyme scheme. Now, as we see that when we are following a particular type of ode, or we are following a particular type of stanza patterns in ode, then it is called regular ode. When we are not following any particular type of stanza pattern, or each stanza is different from the other stanza, then it is called irregular ode. And as I said earlier, that most of the writers of English poems, they adopted Pindar's style, but they made slight variations, and their stanza patterns also varied accordingly. Then we would see that these type of irregular stanza structures, they altered freely, and they were since they altered freely, they were free to shift their rhyme scheme or the pattern of stanzas from each other. Now, that has been very common with Wordsworth when he wrote his great ode ode intimations of immortality. And then we these odes, as we have earlier also discussed, that these odes were in the form of address. And when anything is addressed, or it was addressed in a very grand style, and since the style was grand, it was always expected of that poem, or that ode, that it would be read or somewhere addressed at a public place, or it would be performed at a public place. And since it had to be performed at a public place, and they were meant to glorify, they were meant to praise the person who was concerned. So these odes were most of the time written for public proclamation, or public recitals. Now then we can here we can talk of Dryden's Alexander Feast. When he's Dryden's Alexander's Feast is one such ode which is there for public recital, or which is there for public proclamation. Then we can quote Collins' Ode to Evening, which is an idea, or as some season was addressed here, a time of day has been addressed, evening has been addressed, but it is addressed in a very abstract and very grand, or very in a very serious manner. And he appears to be very objective while addressing evening. And but at the same point of time, this is his own address. Since it is his own address, it has to be somewhere very individual, it has to be somewhere very lyrical. And how Collins feels about evening, that feeling is very much there. So it is lyrical. Then we have Gray's Hymn to Adversity. Then we have Wordsworth's Ode to Duty. Now when we see that romantic poets especially perfected the personal odes, because their description was personal, their passion for the subject was personal. Even when they were talking of philosophy, or when they were meditating upon the subject, their meditation or their philosophy was also their philosophy, or how they felt about the subject, or the theme which they had adopted for their poem. Then we see that there are other types of ode which are called Horatian odes, and they were modeled in style, in matter, in form, according to the Roman Horace. So they have been adopted by Horace, from Horace, and this style has been adopted from Horace, and they are different from Pindar's odes in their passion and in their vision. So and their stanza pattern is homogeneous, means they adopt the same stanza pattern throughout the poem. So if their first stanza has followed a particular rhyme scheme, then the other stanza would also follow that particular rhyme scheme, and all the repeated stanzas would follow the same rhyme schemes. Now when we talk of ode, or when we want to sum up what we have discussed today, we would sum up our lecture in the way that odes are basically poems, and they are lyrical in their tone, and they have an elevated style, they are in the form of an address, they are serious in their note. And since they are in the form of address, any person or any idea or any object has been addressed. So something which is addressed in an elevated style, and the object of address is always praised or is reflected as something very serious or grand, and at the same point of time they are lyrical because they are talking about the emotions of the author for the point of their address, whatever they are addressing. So at the same point of time they are subjective, they are lyrical, and they are written in two ways, in form of regular stanza pattern and irregular stanza patterns. Now that is up to the poets which pattern they adopt. There were two big authors, writers of odes in history: the Pindaric ode, or the Pindar, who was a Greek poet, and then we have Horace, who was a Roman poet, and his odes were Horatian odes. They are, as compared to Pindaric odes, they are more passionate, and they are more lyrical. They have a greater vision attached to them. There were followers of both types of odes in English as well as in other languages, and odes were very famous, and till today they are famous because whenever you would be addressing someone, or whenever you would be talking for any public proclamation, and you would be talking at great length about someone, or you would be praising something or someone, or when you would be taking a philosophical note or a meditative tone, then odes would be the best style to write a poem. Thank you.